About you. My name is Jenny Dove. I'm 43, almost 44 years old. I have 3 kids, 23, 22, and 12. I have a dog and a grand dog I love. I coach volleyball for 20 years. I have a degree in psychology that I don't use. I currently stay at home with my middle son, Andrew, who is autistic, and I'm his full-time caregiver. Grow up. Well, I grew up a lot of little different places. My first memory, I was born in Modesto, California. We moved to Yuba City when I was very little. We lived in Yuba City till I was about 6, 7, and then we moved to Roseville, California, where I went to elementary school. After that, we moved to San Luis Obispo when I was in junior high. Upon high school graduation, my parents decided to move back to Yuba City, California. And besides a brief stint in North Carolina, that's where I have stayed the majority of my adult life. I guess it was a pretty typical neighborhood. I mean, we weren't low income, but we weren't richy rich, so we had a beautiful home always. And most of my friends lived within 2 to 3 blocks of me, so they all had the same kind of house that we had. On birthdays we had sleepovers. We'd play outside till dark. We were always at each other's houses. It was just, I think it's something that doesn't happen very much anymore because, times have changed so much. But back then, there wasn't any cell phones or iPads or whatever to occupy our time. You'd occupy your time with the neighbors' kids and, playing in the street. We lived in a cul-de-sac and, we never had to worry about traffic, and you just always had something to do. Yeah. Years. Well, I seem to remember a long time ago when I lived in SLO, I didn't want to move back here because Yuba City was voted the worst city in the United States. And, sorry. And I think that over time, Yuba City has had to grow up a little bit. We don't have all of the big stores and chains like, bigger cities have. But we're not a small city, and we should have those things. I think slowly Yuba City gets things that other cities and towns have had for years. We are so close to Sacramento. So anything we need, we go out of town 30 minutes to get what we need in Sacramento. San Francisco is 2.5 hours away. If we want to get away to Reno or Tahoe, we can do that too. That's only 2.5 hours away. So I almost feel like there really isn't a need to make those things here in Yuba City because they're so close. But I think the city would thrive if they did. Why not? Well, my goal has always been to get back to San Luis Obispo. But the cost of living there is so high that it's just not logical for me to ever be able to do that. Roseville now has grown so much. It's a little bougie. It's very upper class. The cost of living there is also high. Not as high as SLO or Monterey, but it's still up there. Roseville's beautiful. I wouldn't mind living there if I could, but San Luis Obispo by far would be where I want to be. And it's not just because it's beautiful and the ocean's there and there's so much to do. I like the fact that the people are different there than they are here. I like that your business is your business. That some things aren't discussed, and I like the mentality of San Luis Obispo so much more than I do of Yuba City in this area. In Yuba, I would like to see more chain stores. I think we would benefit greatly from some of the major ones like Old Navy or restaurants, you know, putting in like, we just finally got an Olive Garden. I wouldn't mind an Outback, you know, stuff where we don't have to go a half an hour away, you know, to go to dinner at a place we all know and love. You know, I think that, you know, those kind of stores would benefit here, you know. I don't know why it takes us so long to get these types of stores, but it does. I guess Yuba City just isn't the market for those big chain stores. I don't see why, though. I mean, you can't get into Olive Garden since it's opened. I think that any of those stores would flourish here just because these people are so anxious. We had a Forever 21 in our mall that closed. It was huge. But I mean, I think part of that is like location. We don't have like a big shop mall. I mean, our biggest little mall has a Home Depot and Walmart and Marshalls and Michaels. I mean, if you added on to that and put more stores in that location, I think a store like that would thrive. But yeah, we don't have those big chains, and I think that would make this town a lot more exciting if we did.